everyone. Thank you for joining us on Snatch Chat. These are the girls who invented the name, not Snap, Snatch Chat. These doctors, brilliant women, are going to introduce themselves. They are my naturopaths. They healed my HPV. They are absolute monsters when it comes to health. They take no prisoners and they fix everyone.
Aw, you're such a sweetheart.
Go on.
Oh my.
Yeah, now that we're recording.
Exactly. I'm Dianna Giles-Grawbarger. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and this is my partner in crime.
I'm Laura Kelly. I'm a homeopath and holistic nutritionist.
And we need to clarify, we did no healing. That is not, we don't heal, but Ray did all the work, followed everything we asked her to do. She's the one who did everything to get better.
They're amazing. So what is HPV?
Well, we just said HPV is a viral infection. It's called human papillomavirus. The association, generally speaking, that we are talking about today is how it affects your immune system, how your immune system affects infection and vaginal health. That's what we're talking about.
That's right. So they saw my cervix, the two surgeons. They go, oh, you don't have very long to live. You need this LEAP procedure. We have to scrape down your cervix, take away the infection. That's not the way to take away infection. Why are so many people getting the surgeries and still dealing with cancer when they could come here and get rid of it in 2 weeks?
It's extreme. But so what we were saying earlier is you had mentioned you did a lot of work, and part of that was based on blood work.
Yeah. So blood work is the place to start. People say, how do I heal? I think after my experience with you girls, the first place to start is do the blood work, see where you're intolerant. I had no idea I was intolerant to so many things. Mm-hmm. So I'm putting these things I'm intolerant to, saying they're health foods, but my body doesn't like these certain health foods.
Yeah. So it all depends on where people are at to say what the next step is. For you, you had already pursued or looked into a healthy lifestyle. You were exercising, you were sleeping, all of those sorts of things. Some people need to take even a further step back, and they haven't even approached those sort of sleep hygiene and all that sort of stuff. So some people are all at different starting off points. That's and right. People's motivation is different. Yes. So we see a number of different patients. Some people are gung-ho to get to all of the to understand what's really going on, and others, they just kind of want to dabble in it. And that's why there's medical procedures available, and we're happy to have both options depending on what's going on with the person and the severity of what's going on.
It's extremely important.
In your particular case, in a lot of patients' cases, we definitely want to be looking at their blood work. It's so telling to be able to take a snapshot, anything diagnostic or any sort of testing that gives you more information. The more info, knowledge is power, then that arrives at some decisions that we can make. So with you in particular, we looked at your food intolerances and the top 222 foods you're consuming and what your immune response is to them, but also a comprehensive look at what's going on with your vitamin D levels and iron balancing and hormone picture and all that sort of stuff, so that we can tease out where your body has more stress attached to it. And you were just discussing how stress does impact health.
Oh, absolutely. So not just your the way that you would think of stress impacting your life, like you have headaches or you don't sleep as well at night, but it affects your digestive system profoundly. It has a huge impact. So if you're eating foods that you're mounting an immune response to, so your body doesn't like it as much, then you're going to create inflammation. Eventually you start actually breaking down the gut lining. It doesn't do its job as effectively as it can be. And then that impacts your immune system. And then that impacts your body's ability to fight infection. So we're met with infection all day long, like you're in the barbershop and you're constantly getting people's germs.
Exposed to everything.
Absolutely. So whether you actually get an infection, which means you get sick from something, or you don't, really depends on what your terrain is like, how much sleep you got, how overwhelmed you feel, and what you're eating in particular.
When I listen to you two, I love that you said knowledge is power, because I think applying knowledge is power. Knowledge is so incredible, but I had this knowledge before, right? I was dabbling in health and fitness. Yeah. And then when you two got to me, I fucking applied it. Yeah. You gave me boric acid, golden seal, and coconut oil the first day I met you. Yeah. I walked into other naturopath's office. I never left with anything. No one ever said, oh my God, I know exactly how to heal your vagina. You guys have seen this. You've seen this 1,000 times.
Well, we each have one.
True, yeah.
You have one. So key. So key.
Honestly, vaginal infections are a snapshot of what's going on in your body. So if there's somebody who and it doesn't mean that you're systemically, full of infection, but it just speaks to what your immune system is like and what it's doing. So
in a
your
similar
symptoms
way
were
to
specific.
like a sinus infection, a localized infection is indicative of a full body system where you're at.
So the things we gave you were anti-infective. They were antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal. And so when you were using those, she was as suppositories, vaginal suppositories, and
Vagicles.
It's a vagicle on Snatch Chat. It helps to acutely right there treat the infection
and balance the microflora that's going on. And that's something we were just discussing, is the difference between, we all have normal good bugs that are symbiotic and grow in our bodies and help to do functions like B12 stabilization and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's when they grow out of balance that we start seeing symptoms and you don't feel well.
Is there one disease? Is it mucus? If I have pneumonia, the mucus is in my lungs. If I have HPV, the mucus is in my sexual organ. If the
bugs are creating the mucus, So and that's, so again, it's part of the treating an infection. So are you killing it? Are you healing the terrain? They, generally speaking, bugs do create mucus. It's why we get runny noses when we have
part of your immune system as well. As the white blood cells die, there's a mucus production and more of the macrophages coming to the area. So I mean, there's a number of reasons why the body produces mucus. Some of them are in an effort to heal, and some of them over time, when it becomes chronic, then you have like postnasal and you have gut lining biofilm that's going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I was at full-blown infection state, white marshmallow fluff coming out of my vagina.
Yes, when it was happening. Yeah. And it was, you also felt sick.
Yes.
Like unwell.
Yes. So, I knew something was wrong.
Yeah. And people should pay attention to that in and of itself, regardless of vagina or whatever else. If you have the general feeling of being unwell, go get checked out.
Mm-hmm. So when I went into the relationship with my ex, I already had HPV. Never had a sign of it.
Yeah.
When I slept with him, the first day I was infected. I had never seen marshmallow fluff come out of my snatch before.
It sounds lovely when you word it like
that.
I
know. Every time I see fluff in the grocery store.
You don't want s'more bars anymore. Or s'more bars, I should
s'mores,
say.
No
s'mores are unappealing.
Yikes.
We've ruined that for people.
Just ruined it for me. So that's a number of things as well. So that could have been a pH difference. Sometimes the pH of semen and the pH of your vagina, they're incompatibilities.
Just our skin together didn't seem to go. Yeah. Just chemistry was way off.
And chemistry in all those realms, right? Yeah. So you noticed the symptom right away. Thank goodness. Then you sought out treatment and and then you applied it, just like you said. Yeah. So knowledge is power, but then application of that knowledge and getting the right knowledge for you. So this is something we say all the time. Like we're like broken records. You know how much exercise you should get, right? Okay, but maybe not for you. Like if you're feeling, if you're so exhausted, completely nutritionally depleted, you've had a huge stress, sometimes exercise is something you need to stop temporarily. Yeah. So, and everybody knows theoretically, like you said, what a healthy diet is, but not everybody's healthy diet is
the same.
Exactly.
And you guys cut me off working out in the sauna. Now, I'm crazy. Not everyone works out in the sauna, but a lot of people work their body to extreme stress. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the big dudes in the gym who are like, everything is to failure. There's no numbers. Yeah. Is this good?
Well, it depends on what you're looking to achieve.
It's certainly not sustainable over time.
Right.
Yeah, depending on what your goals are, so which is like then something we discuss is the idea of having a coach when you say knowledge is power and then implementing it. It's very difficult unless you have some direction. So, I mean, people at the gym or wherever the case is, a lot of people have coaches and there's a reason behind it or counselors or whatever the case is. And having someone look at you without in an objective way is where you start being able to put things into action a little bit more.
Absolutely. So if you're someone who's doing an extreme training or extreme sports, or you're an elite athlete, you sometimes need to push yourself to almost the brink, but yet you have your coach to help bring you back. And that's for extreme performance. But in everyday life, and you're looking for just optimal health, pushing yourself too much generally gets people into trouble.
So having a coach is key, but I think having you two is more key. So a coach is going to push you till you don't want to be pushed. My coach won't let me take a back day off. She doesn't let me, you have to heal, maybe do yoga before your workout. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're not there.
It's a different type. It's a different type of
it's a different
pattern
type,
coach, and it's a more holistic look, right? Yeah. So I mean, you can have that's rarely one goal centered when you just want to be in shape, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about your body as a whole, such that you can get in shape, then it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
When I was bodybuilding and I'm eating these healthy foods and I'm eating, the last week, 700 calories.
Yeah.
How am I still puffy? The food I'm eating, this healthy food, after your test, I find out I'm allergic.
Yeah, it's not your food.
It's not my
not
food.
your healthy food.
So I can eat 700 calories and I can still be puffy.
Yeah.
So inflammation is huge.
Oh, it's enormous. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
So cut your stress out, get your diet right, get your blood work. How else are you going to heal? You got to top up your hormones. You have to make sure they're
You have to make sure that it's good to have good information about what your hormones are doing. So that's important.
And anything that's out of balance, whether it's a very low vitamin D or a low iron or a high blood sugar or a high insulin, right? You have to balance all of it. So it's not just, and you can't broadly say, if you just did this, you would be better. Because I mean, even to say, drop the stress, well, sometimes it's your attachment to the stress, and two people could be in the exact same situation.
So smart.
And this person perceives it completely differently. Yeah. Same with the traumas we were talking about. The same thing could have happened to you and me, and I could be, totally affected, and I see that trauma in every avenue of my life, and you could think, well, that was really stupid, and that was their problem, and I'm moving on.
Yeah.
So, and that would affect my body differently than your body.
Right.
So
the attachment is very significant.
Yeah. So everyone can be traumatized. Everyone can be alone in pain. But after that aloneness, what you have to find is you're the only one who's there for you. Your parents aren't there. You're whatever. Maybe you guys have awesome parents. I don't. So when you come out of that trauma, your attachment to the trauma is what's important.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Yeah. That's big.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah.
So condoms, they don't fully protect you against HPV. Why?
Mucous membrane. The contact is all.
The contact. So
in and around. But it's much less likely. I mean, I don't risk it. I feel like that was a very broad statement, but because your contact is less. Anything where you're going to have less contact is going to make it your percentage of contracting it less. But
I quit sharing joints with everybody. I quit sharing water. No more sharing anything, because I just think any mucous membrane and any epithelial cell on the skin.
It's like wearing a seatbelt in a car. I mean, that offers a certain amount of protection, but certainly you could still get in an accident.
Okay. And you could still get hurt. Yeah,
exactly.
Wow. I mean, hey, you just want to balance do a balancing act to the best of your ability, right?
Have you guys ever looked at food under a microscope?
Oh, I mean, there's a number of ways, but on that dark field microscope, you have to have such a thin preparation on it that it's not the type of microscope. But certainly back in university, we've looked at all sorts of things underneath the microscope.
Did you see what an alkaline food and an acidic food compared like?
Oh, I'm not sure we made that direct comparison.
No kidding.
What would come out on a microscope.
Dr. Sebi did, he says an alkaline cell is whole like this and an acidic one is broken.
Oh, if it's, I see what you're saying.
Blood cell as opposed to.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, a red blood cell.
And interestingly, your blood stays within a very, very narrow margin.
It has a balancing act, eh?
Oh, it's extreme.
It's the most important thing that your body keeps stable. If you go off on your pH in your blood, then you die very easily.
Wow.
Yeah, your tissues can kind of have fluctuation, stomach fluctuation, everything else can, but our bodies at all costs keep blood pretty narrow margin with your pH.
How do we test our pH?
You can do a saliva test.
Saliva test?
Yeah.
Serum, they look at blood. Yeah.
Okay.
pH of your urine as well. Like if you're looking to see where your balance is at. But generally speaking, the one that you'll do is at home is a salivary, which you buy in strips of alkalinizing.
Gives you an indicator.
Products.
And even that you expect to see some sort of flow in the body. And I mean, with everything, there's a flow.
It's like anything.
Where do we want to be pH wise?
Well, depends. That one, I'm not going to throw a number out because there's a different pH that you want for your saliva than from your blood, than for your vagina. Yeah.
And again, like a different time of the day, right? You're a little bit more alkaline come 10 a.m. and then you'd expect to see things just the same way cortisol levels should shift, which is why, again, knowing the testing and how to implement it, if someone comes in and says, oh, I heard stress and cortisol should go together. Yeah. And they want to test it, depending on what time of day it is, your cortisol levels should rise and fall during the course of the day. So just that single point or one single salivary test for pH, for example, isn't going to be a general indicator of whether you're acidic or alkaline.
So the reason I kicked my virus into dormancy with your help so quickly was because I got rid of the stress.
Yeah.
I took less hours at work, lower stress. Yeah. I did the diet.
You did it all.
And you did a great job.
I'm still working on diet.
Yeah. That's normal. If we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So you do the best that you can, and then you apply it in your daily life.
And being perfectionistic also has its own stress attachment to it.
Totally.
And that's also not where we want.
Because when I eat the chocolate covered almond, I'm like, you're such an idiot.
Oh yeah, bad self-talk.
Then it shuts down your digestion. So there's very much a balance of life.
So your cure, the fastest way to cure someone with any disease, because all disease can be cured, what is your recommendation when they come in and sit in your chair?
Oh, it's always the story. The truth of somebody's illness is always in their story. And then once we get their story, then we look at their physical exam, and then we do other testing based on what's going on. But the story is the key. It always starts there.
And people's ability to recover is different depending on where they're at, their willingness to change, severity, the chronicity. All of these things make a big difference when someone is looking to feel better in life.
So you guys recommend, in order for me to go back to bodybuilding, I need to wait until my cortisol levels are at an appropriate stage. I need to make sure my recovery hormone came back. Things are more level. Then can I go back?
Oh, you can go back to anything. Like you can go back. You'll be more educated and be more aware of what you need to do to keep yourself in balance. Like I said, when you are doing something like bodybuilding or you are training for a sport, you're doing things that are a little bit more extreme than the average person.
I like that you pointed at me.
Yeah. I was doing
an example of the average person.
I was doing
extreme.
But you can go back. You just need to be aware of
mindful of your signs and symptoms that you should regulate
when you need to rest.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So if you want to be cured, please come to 128 Chippewa Street East in North Bay. And these are your girls, Dr.
Dianna Giles-Grawbarger.
And I'm Laura Kelly.
And the phone number, normal, not extreme.
Yeah.
The number for these girls is
705-497-8788.
Thank you so much for joining Snatch Chat. Take care.